hope this doesn't offend you. But you know, I'm a Christian, and just about every Sunday I have to stand before a congregation and I have to preach about something that I'm most passionate about. The thing that matters more than this job that I'm getting ready to try to take here. And you know, I left that interview and I didn't even think about the answers to my questions. All I could think about was I hope that if one of those people interviewing me, if they didn't believe in God, and they could see that passion in me, and maybe that passion, they can take that and they can find that passion and they can find out what I'm talking about. You know, I didn't know which way to go this morning, but I started to hear this little prayer list, and you've had on the prayer list here the last few times, especially at my church, you've had that boy, I believe his name was Daniel, whose house burnt down. That's bad enough right there, but then you find out that he doesn't have insurance on his house, and he lost everything, and he won't be able to recover none of it. You know, it breaks my heart, and you know, insurance this time of day, it's hard for people to get anyways. It just costs too much, and if you have it, it don't cover certain things. If you're pre-existing with this or that, and even if your insurance does work out, you don't know when you're going to get what you were supposed to have back. But you know, I was like, I'm going to do some research. I like to look up things like this. I wanted to see maybe where we went wrong as a nation in a world where our insurance is so corrupt and takes so long. And I started reading, and every source I would come to would say in 1666 in London there was a great fire. And from those ashes is where our insurance company started and the policies and so on. But you know, I had to stop reading right there, and I didn't read no more because a little over 2,000 years ago is when insurance started. I don't need your history book to tell me that it was in 1666. No, sir. A little over 2,000 years ago, there was an insurance salesman walking this earth here. And let me tell you, the policy, the insurance was flowing through his veins. And if you were looking at, I've got that policy. If you were looking at that contract, and you look at the first lines there, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. Listen today, that's how I'm going to cash in on my insurance. You know, you've got listen, you've got health insurance in this world, and they won't even fully cover you the way you should be if you have a pre-existing condition. I've got a pre-existing condition today. This body of mine is dying, and my sin is eating me alive. But let me tell you, do you have an insurance policy today that when this old body here gives out, that they're going to give you a new one just like this one? If your car were to burn up, you'd be lucky if they gave you the same car back that ran the same way. It won't be no better than the one you just had. It'll just be new condition. But where I'm going to, this body right here won't compare to the body that I'm going to have when I'm over in that land. A glorified body that cannot feel pain. Listen, you talk about a fire insurance. I've got the best fire insurance ever was. I will not be burned when I leave this world. When it's time to put that policy to use, let me tell you, I won't need that fire insurance in this world, because my Lord's taking me to a place that He's gone to repair. Listen today, we have for our insurance, I pay so much for my health insurance every month. I have to pay a premium. A little over 2,000 years ago upon a cross, your premiums were paid. It's not going to be monthly. My Lord Jesus Christ take His blood there and paid for that premium to last in eternity. I'm awful happy to be here.
Bless the Lord.
And then you just have this prayer list, and I think about Sister Keisha there and what she must be going through. You know, there's been many a time, just like that song, that I've been down in the valley. You know, coming from East Kentucky, it seems like the way a lot of us do. We like to hunt, we like to fish. They call us rednecks, hillbillies, whatever you want to say. But we love those things. We love to do those things. And I can remember being a little boy. I'm so glad my grandfather's here. Oh, it seemed like everywhere he went, he would pull me along. with him. I don't know why. There's people in this world that won't take their children anywhere because it seems a burden. And I was a rotten little boy, but every time he went somewhere to the store, wherever it was, he said, Shad, let's go. Let's go and start the truck. Being there when I'm ready to go. And it was my favorite thing to do was to drive side by side with him and listen to him sing these church songs. He'd ask me, he'd pick up the Bible and he'd say, Shad, tell me what this means right here. And I would always say, leave me alone. I don't know what that means. I can't even pronounce those words. But he did it anyway. And we'd be down in these little valleys and he'd turn his dogs loose to go coon hunting at night. And we'd hear him treeing off in the distance up on the mountain. And you know, we'd start up that mountain and it wouldn't be long before this little boy here was crying and saying, just carry me, I don't want to walk no more. And he would pick me up and he'd carry me up that mountain. And you know, we get to where we're supposed to be. But look at him now this morning. I had to go pick him up and it took him a long time to get ready. He just ain't the man he used to be. This world's getting him down. That insurance policy's waiting. You know, when I'm down in the valley and I can't look to him anymore to carry me up to the mountain. That man that used to tell me about in that truck was the man that today, when this big old boy's down in the valley, he carries me up on that mountain. That's my Lord. That's the way it works, and that's what he does. When I think of Sister Keisha, how she must be feeling today. I've been there. I've lost a child, and it was the hardest thing I think I've ever had to do, brother. And you know, watching my wife sit and cry, wanting to just hold that little baby, it was heartbreaking to me. And you know, when I was growing up, my grandmother, she was always there with me. I stayed with them so much. She told me, I can't wait till you get older and get married and have a child, so I can play with it and spoil it just the way I did you. And she did. She spoiled me rotten. But you know, I was thinking about, oh Lord God, what is it that I can do to make this situation a little better? My wife's brokenhearted. I've got a hole in my soul right now that I just can't seem to feel. And I had some friends call me, some friends that I know are lost in this world. And they'd say, Shad, you know, I'm going to pray for you. I know how you're feeling. I know that your heart's hurting. I'm going to do the things that you tell me to do. I'm just going to pray for you. And when I hung up that phone there, I just had to close my eyes and say, thank you, Lord, because if this baby could have done anything, it's causing somebody to pray who's lost. Oh, Lord, that's all I need. And I know when I'm on the other side, when I cross over and cash in that policy, my grandmother's going to be holding a baby that I never got to see. And she's already spoiled it more than I could ever spoil it in this world. Isn't my Lord wonderful today? You don't have to leave your loved ones behind. You don't have to leave the people that you love to die in sin. This right here is something that's big enough to save the world. And it's all in these pages here. My little cousin, who's an atheist boy, came up to North Carolina there, and we had a little service in my house. And I stuck my foot in my mouth there. They made me get up to preach. And I don't really know what happened to me that day. But I stood up there for a long time. And when I would look over in the corner, I had a little brother who was lost in this world, just crying. A little atheist boy who thought all the stuff I was talking about was nothing anyways. But tears running down his face. And I told him, I said, you think about all these things that you love in this world. Can you compare it to the way that you felt that night? And he said, well, no, not really. You know, listen to me. They can say that the things of this book here are vile and that they're not wrong and that they're not right and it's a fairy tale. Let me tell you, if I can look at somebody who doesn't believe when the Spirit's running through and it gets a hold of their heart and they start to cry, I told him, I said, what if we felt like that every day? You think religion's such a bad thing? We don't need religion. What we need is that Spirit. We need that salvation. We don't need nobody to twist this word. I said, if we felt like that every day, wouldn't the world be better? What if we could feel like that every day? What if we could feel like we feel right now? All the time. Leave your excuses at home. There's no excuse not to serve my Lord. I don't care how bad you're hurting. I'll pick you up. touched my heart, and a lot of people can really relate to, especially probably Brother Otto. You know, back the older days of school, they used to, you can't do it anymore, but they would whip a child of me. I'd say Otto invented that. But when you would do something that bad, you would be punished. And there was this one classroom there that had 3 teachers already that year because they couldn't control these children. No matter what they did, they couldn't control them. So this little Christian boy who had just became the teacher had heard about the job opening. He went to the principal there and he said, "I'd like to fill that position." And that principal said, "Do you know what you're getting yourself into? There's been nobody that can corral these children." Said he just lowered his head there and he started to pray. He looked up at that principal. He said, "I'll take it. Just give me a trial basis there." So he went into that classroom and he got the kids to be quiet just for a moment. And he said, "Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to come up with some rules. And we got to follow these rules or we're going to be punished. But the thing is, I'm going to let you come up with these rules." And of course, those children were like, "Okay, we can do this. This is going to be fun." And he stood up and he said, "All right, what's rule number 1?" Before he can get those words out, a little boy stood up in the back, the biggest boy in that room, the most proud and loud boy in that room. He said, "You can't steal nothing. If you steal something, then you're in trouble." And he said, "All right, we'll write that down." And he wrote it down on the board there, and they just kept going until they filled up about 10 rules. He said, "All right, that's enough. But now what will be the punishment if you were to break these rules?" And one of those kids said, "Well, you're going to get 10 licks right across your back if you don't follow these rules." And he said, "All right, we'll go with that." And then the big boy stood up and said, "But you got to take your jacket off and take it right across your back." And that teacher, he knew, well, that's a pretty harsh punishment. He said, "But all right, if I do it this way, they won't break any of these rules, because who wants to have a weapon across their back like that without their coat?" And you know, about 2 or 3 days, it said that was the most behaved classroom that he had ever been in. But about 3 days into it, that big boy, Tommy was his name, he came into the room and he said, "Somebody stole my lunch. Somebody has stolen and they got to be punished." And all the kids in that classroom pointed to a little boy, the smallest boy and the skinniest boy in that room over in the corner, and said, "It was Timothy over there. He's the one that did it." He said, "Timothy, come to the front of the class." And he went up there and he said, "Did you take this lunch?" He said, "Sir, yes, I did." He said, "But you know your punishment, don't you?" He said, "Yes, sir." As he put his hands over that desk and bent over, he said, "Please let me keep my jacket on." It was a big, bulky jacket. And he said, "No, you know what you got to do. Take that jacket off." And he said that boy took that jacket off and he didn't have a shirt on underneath. And you could see the ribs sticking out of his skin. You could see his backbone protruding out of his back where he was so skinny. He said, "Boy, where's your shirt?" He said, "Sir, my father's dead, my mother's poor, and let me tell you, today's the day that she washes my shirt, and I'm wearing my brother's jacket today, so no one will know I don't have a shirt on." He said, "Well, I'm sorry, you knew the punishment. You're going to take those licks right now." And he reared that rod back and was getting ready to swing when Big Tommy stood up and said, "Wait a second, we didn't have anything in those rules that said that I can't come up there and take this for him." So Big Tommy ripped his jacket off and wrapped his arms around little Timothy. He said, "You go right ahead." And oh, that teacher, he started swinging, and after about 5 swings, says that the rod broke. And he said he just closed his eyes and covered his face and started to weep how it broke his heart, what he just done to that child. And he looked up amongst that classroom, and there wasn't a dry eye in that room. Well, let me tell you today, aren't you glad that a little over 2,000 years ago, there was a man that came through this land that could see farther on down the road, could see that Protestant about to slap your back, and listen, he died upon a cross just to take that lashing for you, standing before Pilate, and all those men accusing him there, being beaten, being whipped, the beard poured from his face, to be hung shamefully upon a cross, and they thought they took care of him there. Little did they know they had spilled the blood that filled my insurance policy. But listen, when I leave this world, to go. And until the day I die, I'm going to try to take everybody I can with me. I'm not selfish about it. It's not something I've got hid over in the corner that I don't want nobody to know about. If anybody tells you that when you become a child of God that you're the same person, you just have God on your bond, they don't know what they're talking about. Because when I found my Lord 7 miles down here underneath this mountain here, 7 miles underground, I can't even get cell phone service in East Kentucky, let alone underground. But underground, He was able to find me where nobody else could. And when He found me there, listen, brother, He saved my soul. And when I came up from my knees, I wasn't that vile creature that I was before. I still sin, don't get me wrong. But listen, there's a difference today. I don't live in my sin the way that I used to. I try my best to do what I think is right. I read this book and I tell everybody I can about it and how it took away that wickedness inside of me. I feel like I'm the least among everybody in this room. And everybody that walks through that door, I bet you they have not done a single thing as bad as what I've done in my life. They haven't thought the things that I've thought.
God have mercy on you.
But He did have mercy on me. And that mercy is for everybody. You brothers come on and sing that.
I'm well.